Ladies and gentlemen, yes, welcome to episode 32 of the Wrestling Matters podcast. My name is Anthony Walker, you already know that by now. Today's episode, we're going to talk Raw, we're going to talk Smackdown, we're going to talk TNA, we're going to talk any other thing that is relevant in the world of this beautiful thing we call professional wrestling or sports entertainment. I prefer professional wrestling. Anyway, but before we get into the traditional things that we do, the Raw, the Smackdown, the TNA and all that, I feel a need to drop something that I haven't done in a while, and that's a pipe bomb. Yeah, so you know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen? It is time for this.
In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the following pipe bomb is about the WWE. Specifically, the network. This past Friday, I believe it was it was Halloween actually. Halloween, October 31st. I believe it was that. No, correction, it wasn't that. It was November 3rd. Yes, it was November 3rd. November 3rd, it was announced, I believe it was announced over the weekend, maybe the previous week on the Thursday, I don't know, that the WWE Network was going to be released at 8 p.m. UK time in the UK. The WWE Network. 8 p.m. UK time, the WWE Network was going to be released. Lo and behold, everybody went to there at 8 p.m. to sign up to the network, knowing that they were going to get Survivor Series and the first month, and the November month for free. But as they went to sign up, lo and behold, yet another delay. And why is that, ladies and gentlemen? I know why. Because of a certain thing we call Sky TV. Now, apparently there's ongoing negotiations with this. There's ongoing things that, because Sky sell the pay-per-views on the box office for $14.95 or whatever it is in the other places in Europe, and in the UK it's $14.95. That's £14.95. God knows what that is in US money. Probably a little bit higher, but anyway. They pulled it because of that. Now, I said this on Facebook, in this Facebook group that I'm in, I'll say it now. Why can't Sky create a channel for their network, for the Sky network? Like I say, I'm a Sky user, I've got Sky myself. Like the Sky channels they've got, I can run through some of the channels right now. They've got Sky One, Sky Living, Sky Sports, where you can see WWE every week, ITV3 and so on and so on and so on. Why can't they create a new channel, right, for the network, right, the WWE Network, and call it the WWE Network? And the scheduled list, the listings that they have, the scheduled, I guess you could say TV listings, if you will, because they have like a TV schedule on the network, besides the other content that they show as well, the ECW stuff and the stuff that you can watch anytime you please. But take the listing, get the network, take the listings off it, the schedule listing, right, and take that listing and put it on the network. Keep it on the network itself for the internet and everything, but air that schedule on that channel as well for Sky, and air it over here, and everybody would win, But this thing is doing my head in. I get asked this at work, with the place I work at, Middlesbrough Football Club. People ask me, what's up with this network? What's up with the network? And, it's getting to a point where you just want to strangle the WWE, and you want to strangle Sky. This needs to be sorted, and it needs to be sorted quick. Otherwise, I have a funny feeling, and this is just my opinion, this is going to end up, Sky and WWE, it's going to end up like another situation that it was in, that WWE were in fact, back in, say, 2002, 2003, I believe it was 2002, where they had to change their name from WWF, World Wrestling Federation, to WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. And we know who we can thank for that, right? World Wildlife Fund? You pieces of shit. Fuck you, World Wildlife Fund. But that's what this is going to end up like. It's going to end up like that situation, unless something is resolved. Let's hope something can be resolved. Because I was looking forward to signing up for that. And, knowing that I would get the WWE Network, knowing that I would, for free, for the month of November at least, knowing that I would get Survivor Series for free as well, and it would save me a little bit of money, maybe £14-15. But no, Sky had to pull the plug on it, didn't it? Well, let's hope this could be resolved. However, pipe bomb ended, by the way. However, I did sign up to another network. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you could call it a network. I signed up to ICW On Demand because on that day, November 3rd, where they were going to schedule the release for the WWE Network, that happened to be on the same day ICW released the ICW On Demand service. Monday morning, 9 a.m. UK time, God knows what that is, US time, ICW On Demand was born. And now you can go, if you don't know what the hell ICW is, I suggest you look him up on YouTube and look him up quick. Go and check him out. ICWWrestling.co.uk. Was it insanewrestling.co.uk? I don't know. I'll put a link in the descriptions. Check these guys out. I'll send all the information links in the description. I signed up to it. I signed up to the on-demand, and you know what? I fucking love it. Yes, you heard me right. Let me rewind that in case you didn't hear it. I fucking love it. It is gold. TV pay-per-view gold. And in my opinion, ICW is how wrestling should be. They have all the great shows on there. They've just released a new one as well. Grado shoot interview. Check that out. There's the shoot interview from Drew McIntyre where they ended up having the bar fight. That is an entirety. And the bar fight. Jack Jester has his interview up there as well. The show where the show's on there with Drew Galloway's return. And the show on there with Grado versus Colt Cabana and much, much more. Just go and check it out. Sign up to it. It is $6, $5.99 in US money, in American money. But in the UK, that is equivalent in the UK to $3 or £3 rather. Sorry, got dollars on my mind. 74 pence. That's right. £3.74 a month just for the content that you get on that on-demand service. And trust me guys, if you haven't subscribed to it, get yourself on there and subscribe to it, because trust me, you'll be getting your money's worth. $3.74, not $6.99, $9.99 like the WWE portrayed their network. £3.74, $5.99 US dollars a month. I swear to God, guys, and this goes out to the people in America as well. Listen to this in America. I can't plug this enough. It is gold. Absolute fucking gold. And I'm giving this 100. You know what? Out of 10, I'm giving it a 10. I fucking love the ICW on demand. It is money well spent. £3.74 a month. It is quality entertainment. Classic episodes on their YouTube page as well. ICW Online, Season 1, Season 3 of ICW Worldwide. Check out their YouTube page as well. If you don't see on there, the only problem I have with the on-demand service is when, say, Grado's entrance pops up, they mute it. Same with Kenny Williams as well. Grado's entrance is the Madonna song, Like a Prayer, and Kenny Williams' entrance is Huey Lewis, The Power of Love, and even Wolfgang's as well, which is Duran Duran's Hungry Like a Wolf. Okay, they get muted. That's the only problem I have with that. Okay, that's the only issue I have with that. So hopefully, please, ICW, if you listen to this, and I'll be sending this episode anyway, please try and sort that out, because that's not good. Other than that, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the wrestling's where it counts, and it is a fucking good on-demand service, and I fucking love it. And I am so glad that I signed up to it. I had an issue with it though, because every time I went on it at first, it came up as DMR error 3307, which didn't work. It wouldn't work. And then I changed the web browser. The only reason I had a shit web browser. That's why it didn't work the first time. So I downloaded Google, hooked it up, watched it, and could I be more entertained? I am now officially an ICW mark. Insane Championship Wrestling is where it's at. Indie Wrestling's where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. And look out for future episodes of the podcast, because them specials I did with EPW, and I will be doing them. There's a few on the horizon as well. EPW European Pro Wrestling, my local hometown promotion. I'll be doing some more episodes of them in the coming months at least. I've had a bit of a falling out with the promoter, a disagreement if you will. I wouldn't say a falling out. I'll be still doing the episodes of the podcast, of the promotion on the podcast, and I won't be putting it over for him. I'll be doing it for the talent on there, because I deserve it. But other than that, I'm looking to do some ICW promotions as well, some ICW podcasts rather, in the coming weeks. When I get some settle time, I will take some notes and I'll do some podcasts. My man Axel Mulligan, Darren Dye, he's already done a podcast on Fear and Loathing, which took place November 2nd. Check out the episode 27 of Axel's analysis. Links will be in the description underneath in YouTube and that. Please check him out. Axel Mulligan on Twitter. Just check him out. Check out that episode as well. He does a 45-minute review of that that pay-per-view show, whatever the heck you want to call it, the biggest show in ICW's history, the biggest show in British wrestling history, whatever. Make sure you check that out as well. But ICW on demand, people, no matter where you are in the country, sign up to it, subscribe to it, because it's a 10 out of 10. It is money well spent. £3.74 an hour, a month rather, for the content that you get, and extra content added to it as well. Like I say, they've just not longer released a shoot interview with Grado, and more 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 is yet to come, I'm sure, and it is money well spent. It is a fucking good demand service, and I love it, and I can't plug it anymore. ICW on demand, my rating for that is a strong and prognostious, wow, that's a big word, 10 out of 10 for it. Good job, ICW. Keep up the amazing work, and check out their YouTube page also, because you get more content on there as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is now time for Monday Night Raw talking points. And you know what? I'm going to do a Raw retrospective, because I'm going to talk about main points as well as talk about the whole show in general. And Raw kicked off this week with a nice little surprise. Yeah, Vince McMahon returned. In Buffalo, New York, Monday Night Raw this past week, November 3rd, Vince McMahon returned. And he came out with Triple H and Stephanie, and everything was going good. They're all talking about the WWE Network, as they always do. $9.99, yada yada yada. Go to WWE.com for information on the reason why the WWE Network was delayed, and Vince McMahon's apology to the UK fans as well was on there for the WWE Network also, about the WWE Network also. And it also came to fruition that Vince McMahon raised the stakes a little bit. At the Survivor Series, it will be Team Cena versus Team Authority, and Vince McMahon added a nice little stipulation. If Team Authority lose, then Team Authority is no more, meaning Team Authority will no longer be in power. Now, I don't know about you, but that's raising the stakes, if you ask me. This main event match has just got interesting. Dean Ambrose faced Cesaro this past week in a wrestling match, something entirely different to what happened this past week on SmackDown in their Halloween match, Halloween street fight, whatever the heck you want to call it as well. The Lunatic Fringe, however, had a post-match after beating Cesaro with Dirty Deeds. He planned his attack of the Eater of Worlds. Did not go well, however. Wyatt disappeared just as mysteriously as he arrived once Ambrose went to make his move, leaving the Lunatic Fringe, desire for revenge, temporarily unsatisfied. Apparently, these two are going to be meeting at Survivor Series. Going to be interesting in itself. I'm not going to talk about the next match. It was Miz and Jimmy Uso, and Miz won. Oh boy! Which, you know what, the thought of Miz and Damian Sandow becoming tag team champions scares me. It really does. That's not a knock on Sandow, but it really does petrify me, the thought of them two. Basically, Miz beat one half of the tag team champions, or one half of the tag team number one contenders, because let's face it, the Usos are still number one contenders. Bit of bullshit, to be honest with you. And this is not a knock on Tyson Kidd, because Tyson Kidd is awesome. Tyson Kidd defeated Sheamus via countout. I mean, really? You're gonna have Sheamus lose that way to Tyson Kidd? Countout victory, really? I mean, don't get me wrong, Tyson Kidd is a talented wrestler, yada yada yada, and it's great he's getting on Raw, but that was pretty much set up Sheamus' downfall, really, wasn't it? For what happened later on in the evening. But that match was bullshit, if you ask me. Seth Rollins defeated the Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler via disqualification after Dolph turned down the approach from the Authority to join the Authority. Then Triple H and Stephanie set up the match. Seth Rollins versus the Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship, I might add. However, just as when Seth Rollins' stooges at ringside, and Seth was just about to win the Intercontinental Championship after hitting Dolph with a curb stomp, lo and behold, out of nowhere, the Viper hits him with RKO, turns round, gets in the two Stooges' faces. They thought better of it, and costs Seth Rollins the Intercontinental Championship belt. Despite the fact Kane asking the question as Orton was walking back up the ramp, "What are you doing, Orton?" Trust me, he found that out later on. Pretty decent match, like. Ryback beats Titus O'Neil, that's right, after beating his tag team partner, I believe it was this past week on SmackDown, Heath Slater. Titus O'Neil decided to have a crack at Ryback, the returning Ryback, and the big guy's rampage proved too much for Titus O'Neil. Who can stop Ryback? Was Ryback auditioning for the Team Authority? Will Ryback join Team Authority? I don't think so. But will Ryback join Team Cena? You know, let's see what direction Ryback goes next. But the rampage that started last Monday against Bo Dallas continues. I miss Ryback, to be honest with you. I mean, that Ryback, not the goofy one who was hanging around Curtis Axel and that and becoming a Paul Heyman guy. That's the Ryback I wanted to see, and I missed. Yeah, call him a Goldberg wannabe all you want, but, you know, it's just good to see him back that way. Mark Henry and The Big Show. Via disqualification, Big Show defeats Mark Henry. Henry did make his point, laying Shaw out with the steel steps, World's Strongest slamming him and draping his t-shirt over the fallen giant as symbolic reintroduction into the Hall of Pain. Like I said last week, guys, this heel turn that Mark Henry did on Big Show, it was done poorly. It was done very, very poorly. The heel turn, if any other, should have happened at the pay-per-view, but it didn't. It should have happened at the pay-per-view. It was just done poorly. Absolutely poorly. What's next for these two? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Will these two have a match at Survivor Series? I doubt it. Big Show's already made himself available for Team Cena, but we'll have to wait and see. Nikki Bella defeats Emma. No surprises there, to be honest. I think Nikki Bella is in contention to face AJ Lee, as we well know, after winning the Battle Royal. No doubt they'll probably Nikki will have a title shot at Survivor Series. Nikki, however, got Brie to go out and slap AJ Lee, and then AJ slaps her back, lays Brie out, and I think Brie's going to end up costing Nikki Bella the Divas title at some point, probably at Survivor Series. Squash match. Rusev in his warm-up match for his match on the pre-show. On the post-show, rather, beats Zack Ryder. What a surprise. God, what has Zack Ryder become? I mean, what is Zack Ryder? It's a case of what have you done for me lately with Zack, man? It really is. That guy hasn't been, I mean, no offense to the guy, but that guy hasn't been relevant since he won the US title of Dolph Ziggler. Now look at him. Fernando defeats WWE Tag Team Champion Stardust. What a joke. Seriously, it's a pointless thing to have Fernando, the Los Matadores, beat Stardust and Goldust and whatever, because let's face it, they're not going to get the titles. I don't think WWE's in a rush to put the titles on them two anytime soon. But yeah, just more bullshit. I didn't get that win. Fernando versus Fernando, Primo and Epico, by the way, who are Los Matadores, but I didn't get the nature of this match. Stardust dropping out to Fernando. Didn't work. And of course, the main event, which happened in the Intercontinental Championship, which was a setup. Randy Orton demanded his match, demanded to settle the score with Seth Rollins, demanded the match. Triple H, however, gave him it, hoping that all the peace and everything else would go rise and everything. And I have to admit, Seth Rollins did pull off an upset here. Now, that's not a knock on Seth, because Seth's a talented wrestler, but I never expected Seth to beat Randy. I did not expect that to happen, but he did, and cleanly. Now, as Randy was getting his thoughts back together, the whole Authority wanted him to shake the hands of the four members of the Authority, which were Noble, Mercury, Kane, and Rollins. Randy goes up, shakes Noble, Mercury, and Kane's hand, goes to shake Seth Rollins' hand, shakes his hand, says I'm sorry, and then drops Rollins. Gets rid of the other three, one kick away from kicking Rollins' head off with the punt kick. Triple H comes in to calms him down, well, at least tries to. Randy attempts to walk away from him, Triple H grabs him, Randy clobbers him, and then all hell breaks loose, and then the beatdown ensues. Now, apparently Randy is going off to make a movie, from what I've heard. Many people think he won't be back for Survivor Series. He will. And in my opinion, once upon a time they used to call Randy Orton the Legend Killer. I believe after Survivor Series, he'll be the Authority Killer. Good show, good Monday Night Raw, all around. Randy Orton stealing the show, and in a way Ambrose stealing the show as well. I would give this Raw, I would say a 6 out of 10 for this one. 6 out of 10 for Raw, this Raw. But I am not done with these perspectives. That's just me getting that a bit out the way. Because on the pre-show, Rusev became the United States champ by beating Sheamus. I saw this match. It was a good match for what it was. pretty predictable considering Sheamus lost to Tyson Kidd earlier on in the evening. But we all knew it was going to happen eventually. What will happen next as Rusev is champion, I don't know. But I bet you one person that I know is probably happy that Sheamus is no longer the US champion, because he's been very vocal about Sheamus on his podcast, on the Sunday Segway podcast. Right, Kenny? So I'm glad Rusev's got a title belt. Would I put the US title? Yes, it makes sense, even though the US title's meaningless. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next with Sheamus, but and Rusev as champion. But yeah, it was a pretty predictable match. I mean, it was not worth, the match was, in a way, was not worth watching, because we all knew Rusev was going to end up winning at some point and getting a championship. Just adds more fuel to this Russia versus USA feud that's going on in WWE. But yeah, like I say, pretty good show all around. Now, after this promo that I'm going to shot on, I'll be talking about TNA Monday and SmackDown main talking points when I come back. And also, don't forget the views and opinions of the world of professional wrestling, guys. Also, I'm going to be talking about NXT. That's right, no disrespect to my boy Axel Mulligan, Darren Dyer, who was on last week's show. He's the NXT guy, but I feel the need to talk about NXT, considering what happened this past week. But more on that later. Until then, I'll see you after this.
This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. Round a champion. I got tons of soul on my true collective ball. Famous, also famous, number one, desirable. I do what I want, when I want, and how I want it. Leave you with the one, and yeah, that's how I roll. I got change to throw, I don't care about no gold. Better, so much better, flipping incredible. Always on the show, so they know that I still got it. And I never feel sorry, yeah, to the world. This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. Round a champion. This is me, I still on it, cause you all wanna be loved. Yeah, you all wanna be loved by a champion. When I hear him come like my fuse and then ba-bum. Later, see you later, I'm about to blow this up. You can sing my song if you want, I know you want it. It's always kinda funny, yeah, cause I know I'm a superstar in the sky to lead you on. Haters gonna hate us, approve of how they love. They can bring me down, nah. They are jealous of me and my umbrella, yeah, they love me so. This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. Round a champion. This is me, I still on it, cause you all wanna be loved. Yeah, you all wanna be loved by a champion. Yeah, all I wanna do is just say, you don't understand how I play. I am on my way to win you over and over, yeah. Oh, you can hear my voice in your head, and you wanna hear it again. So you play it over and over and over, yeah. This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. Round a champion. This is me, I still on it, cause you all wanna be loved. Yeah, you all wanna be loved by a champion. This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. Round a champion. Yeah, all I wanna do is just say, you don't understand how I play. I am on my way to win you over and over, yeah. Oh, you can read my voice in your head, and you wanna hear it again. So you play it over and over and over, yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Matters podcast, and now it's time for the TNA main talking points. Now, TNA this week was mainly headlined by Bobby Roode and his little thing that he's got going on as far as the world title's concerned with Bobby Lashley. Now, Impact kicked off this week with a recap of what happened last week in the world title match between Rude and Lashley. Kurt Angle is in the ring and introduces the X Factor Bobby Roode. Roode says words can't describe the moment standing in the ring as the World Heavyweight Champion. He declares his love for pro wrestling and says that besides his family, it's all he has. Roode says being a champion means he's the best. He's proud to be a champion. Lashley and MVP and Kenny King interrupt. MVP calls Bobby Roode a sorry excuse for a champion and says he manipulated the system to get a title shot. MVP accuses Kurt Angle of cheating Lashley out of the title. MVP says Lashley stepped in for him when he was injured, but that he'll be happy to be the reason Roode loses the title. Roode accepts MVP's challenge for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Lashley looks on with disbelief as Kurt Angle makes the match official. MVP leaves the ring. Lashley continues to look on. Yeah, the seeds are planting for Lashley to turn around and knock MVP on his rear end. Will he do it? Because we'll have to wait and see. The Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Tournament Final. Low-Ki and Jeff Hardy start the match. Jeff works on Low-Ki's arm, then tags in Matt. Matt assumes control, but Low-Ki breaks out the hold and mounts some offense. Low-Ki tags in Samoa Joe. Joe bursts into the ring with a series of hard rights that ground Matt. Joe tags Low-Ki, who continues the assault. Matt catches Low-Ki with a forearm before driving him into the corner. Hardy's trade tags, double team Low-Ki, tandem offense as they do best. Jeff catches Low-Ki with a head scissors takedown, then Low-Ki battles back with a kick to the back of the head. Low-Ki makes the tag to Joe. Jeff struggles to tag Matt. Joe catches Matt with a rear naked choke. Jeff connects with a hold, breaking the Swanton. Low-Ki attempts a key crusher on Jeff. Instead, Jeff drop kicks Low-Ki and hits another Swanton. Jeff launches himself over the top at Samoa Joe, and Matt connects with a moonsault to get the win. So it's Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards against Matt and Jeff. The main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, MVP nails Bobby Roode with a double underhook suplex early on and goes for a quick pin attempt. Roode kicks out. He hits MVP with an elbow and a knee to the gut. Roode goes for the cover, but MVP kicks out too. MVP's thumbs Roode in the eye and before catching him with a blow to the back of the head. Roode rolls from the ring and MVP rushes up with a clothesline to the back of the head. MVP drives Roode into the guardrail and the steel steps. MVP gets a 2 count. Roode fights back, but MVP drives him face first into his knee. MVP connects with an elbow drop and locking in an armbar. Roode feeds off the crowd and gets to his feet, but MVP drops him with a shot to the back. Roode connects with a huge surprise spine buster. Roode hoists MVP onto the top rope, then he connects with a superplex. It's good for a 2 count, that is. Roode attempts a Roode bump, but MVP counters with a series of elbows to the face. MVP hits Roode with repeated kicks to the face. He makes the cover. Roode kicks out a 2. Roode rolls MVP up for a 2. Roode attempts another Roode bomb, but MVP again counters and nails a huge boot to the face of Bobby Roode. MVP attempts to playmaker, but Roode counters and finally connects with a Roode bomb for the win. Post-match, Lashley comes running down to spear Bobby Roode and connects, just killing him. And then MVP goes for his hand, expecting Bobby Roode to hoist him up, but Lashley walks away and walks out on MVP. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this coming Wednesday on Impact. Nothing much else to talk about really, just James Storm doing recruiting mission. He gave Davey Richards 1 week to join the Revolution, or to make his decision to join the Revolution. So no doubt we'll find out this Wednesday on Impact whether or not he will join. He also sent Mannix to recruit the new wrestler, the new Indian superstar that they've hired as well. Whether that will come to any forte, so to speak, we'll find out again this week on Impact. And with that being said, that is the end of the TNA main talking points. SmackDown's main talking points. SmackDown kicked off this week with a cage match for the tag team titles, probably the last match. I don't know. Usos versus Stardust and Goldust. After his twin brother delivered a suplex to Goldust, Jey Uso hit a top rope splash on the Bizarre superstar that seemed to have the Samoan brothers set up for a title victory. Unfortunately for the former tag team champion Stardust, ruined it and got the roll up. 1, 2, 3 for the win. Stardust and Goldust retain the tag titles. Let's see what's next for the Usos. Next main talking point. Christian returned to SmackDown with the Peep Show, and Dean Ambrose was the guest. Dean Ambrose declared that he wasn't scared of Bray Wyatt, which brought out the new face of fear to the stage. After the Eater of Worlds made things personal with the mention of Ambrose's father, an irate Ambrose quickly approached. The lights went off before Ambrose could get his hands on the self-proclaimed savior. But as they came back on, the creepy Riot appeared behind the starlit Ambrose. Then just as quickly, he disappeared. This is going to be a great feud, guys, but I'll tell you something. It's going to be probably one that's probably going to be out of a horror movie or something. Cage match. Another cage match. Dolph Ziggler and Kane. After declaring earlier in the evening that the battle lines had been drawn, Team Authority's Kane engaged in a hellacious fight in a steel cage with Team Cena's Dolph Ziggler. In the end, it was the Intercontinental Champion who was able to escape the cage, leaving WWE's Director of Operations seeing red. In this sign of things to come for Team Authority, don't miss Raw this coming Monday, for the next move. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens this coming Monday. But, tonight, in fact. That's about it for the points. I'm going to move on and put another promo on, and I'll put another commercial ad, a promo, whatever you want to call them, and I'm back with talking points, views and opinions in the world of wrestling, as well as an NXT talking point as well. So stay tuned for that. See you in a bit. Be sure to listen to the Wrestling Matters podcast each and every Monday, only on Mixcloud, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, Podomatic, and SoundCloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. We talk about Monday Night Raw, we shoot the breeze, we pipe bomb, and we tell it like it is. Tune in each and every Monday for the Wrestling Matters podcast, where wrestling matters. Welcome back to the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for the views and opinions and all that, you know what's coming now. Just want to give you something about what happened last week on SmackDown involving Adam Rose. Now, I've been one to say, and I've said this on other podcasts as well, that Adam Rose is one creepy fucker. He really is. But apparently he turned on the bunny this week because it was R-Truth. Apparently on Halloween night, R-Truth gave a dose of the truth to Adam Rose, saying that the bunny upstages him, which technically he does. But Adam Rose lost the match to Truth this past week, and then Adam Rose goes up and pushes the bunny over. Now, they're saying that he's turned heel and everything, but on the European tour, he's still a babyface. He's still working as a babyface and still has the bunny as his entourage. Now, I mean, does anybody know what to do with Adam Rose? Seriously? I mean, I don't like the guy personally. I mean, the best bet for Adam Rose is to get rid of him because he sucks. But I mean, it's just complicated. I mean, you have him turn heel on SmackDown, but he's still a babyface on the European tour. It just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. Now, Hogan talks he needs a heel turn, staying on the WWE network. Well, you know what? I'll have a butchers at this. I mean, seriously, if I hear another heel turn or hear anybody talking about seeing a heel turn again, I'm going to throw up. Plans for WWE's new ECW Exposed special. Regarding the ECW Exposed special that airs on the WWE network after Monday Night Raw, the special will reportedly feature video profiles that are designed to educate new viewers about ECW. According to PW Insider, it will also feature Joey Styles and Paul Heyman telling backstage stories that long-time fans would care about. So that'll be something to watch, I guess. Apparently Mick Foley wants to be the Raw general manager. WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley posted the following on Facebook, in which he mentions that he has changed his tune on becoming the Raw general manager. When asked how I would feel about another run as GM on social media a few months ago, I said I don't think I would be asked and would turn down the offer if I was. Well, after my appearance on Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago, I've kind of had a change of heart. I think there is a chance I'll be asked about becoming GM within the next year, and if asked, I think I'll do it. So, will WWE ask him? I guess we'll find out. Now, I'll cut it there because there's not really much to talk about. There, but I want to talk about now NXT. That's right, NXT. I know this is something new-ish to this show, even though I talk about wrestling because wrestling matters and everything. But I want to talk about NXT. Shout out to Axel Mulligan, Darren Dyer, who was on last week's show, who talks about NXT on his show where Axel's analysis. Check that out. I want to talk about NXT now. I want to talk about one thing in particular, one person in particular. Now, it seems these past couple of weeks that Kenta Hideo himself is getting his ass kicked week in, week out by the Ascension. Ever since debuting on NXT, he's had problems with the Ascension. Well, before last week's episode, the week before, Hideo turned around and made a promo and said that he was going to come and face the Ascension last week's episode and give them and bring backup basically. Instead of having these 2-on-1 fights that he's been having with them, he's going to bring backup. Well, he did. He did bring backup. Ladies and gentlemen, he brought backup in the form of Finn Balor. But to many people, we all know Finn Balor as Prince Devitt. That's right, Federal Devitt has finally arrived in WWE on NXT. And if you haven't seen it, go and find it. I'll leave the clip in the description on YouTube and that. But if you haven't seen it, go and find it. Go and watch the show. Unbelievable. Prince has finally arrived in WWE, and I tell you something, he actually did a pretty good job in beating up the Ascension, him and Hideo Kenta. And you know what? These two could be a tag team in NXT, and a pretty good tag team in that. People were chanting Dream Team, Dream Team, Dream Team. So whether WWE will go with this or not, but I see these as a pretty solid tag team, and future NXT champions if they decide to stay as a tag team, or if they're just united as one to fight the Ascension, who are destined for Monday Night Raw anyway. But yeah, I'm excited about watching NXT now that the Prince has arrived, because this guy is good. If you haven't watched it, go on ICW online and on YouTube, find him. There's some clips of him on there. Just go and find him in general, find his work, and he's just really, really good. And he's Irish too, so a certain Miss Vicky Earls will be very, very proud to have somebody in there. And she's already made that clear this past week on Facebook. Enough said, but this guy is really, really good. WWE is seriously in for a treat. Really is. As he is with many other ones as well, with Hideo Kenta and Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen. I mean, I'll say this right now, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll say this to you. NXT is where wrestling matters in WWE. If you want good wrestling, watch NXT, because you'll get it, believe you me. You may get some of it on Raw and Smackdown, but you'll get plenty of it in NXT. And great credit to Triple H for creating this NXT, because before Triple H got his hands on it, NXT was just a boring, old weekly game show, basically. It had a game show-like format which sucked. It was good for the first couple of seasons, and then it just panned out. And then obviously Triple H came in, grabbed it, and said, here, get out of it, get the freaking game show bullshit out of it, and let's make it a wrestling brand. And that's what he's done, and full credit to him. It's got Sami Zayn. This coming week's episode has got Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville for the NXT title. William Regal's the general manager on there as well. I mean, kudos to WWE for making NXT, and I love it. And I'm gonna really start sinking my teeth into it. I do watch it on occasions, and I do follow it on occasions, but I'm gonna really start sinking my teeth into it, and I can't wait till the next big show that we have, because I know Finn's gonna be on there, Prince Devitt's gonna be on there, and he'll probably steal the show. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the 32nd episode of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until episode 33, until next time. Hopefully I'll have some guests. Hopefully I'll have some good things coming down in the coming weeks. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm working my butt off to bring you the best podcast that I can bring you. Edgy, a good podcast, edgy content, just hope you guys are enjoying it and you are supporting the podcast, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate each and every one of you for listening to this podcast and putting this podcast in your time slot to listen to, basically. Whether it's a big podcast, whether it's a 3-hour one or a 60-minute one or whatever the fuck it is, you guys are taking notice of this podcast, and I appreciate you and I thank you. But until then, until next episode 33, this has been episode 32. My name is Anthony Walker, that H, that E to the A to the D, and until next time, peace out.